Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube. Welcome back to Final Fantasy Chronicles of Eno. This is the second time we've had to start this recording because the first time I fucked up the visual element of the dice tray that we use. Not this time, though. I'm looking at the live feed of the recording. It's looking good. So, allow me to, real quickly, with me today, we have our full cast of players. We have Hades Shadow 92 playing Thanatos, the male human Dark Knight.
Off to a great start today.
Shut up. We have Luminous Starlight playing Rocket, the cyborg chocobo warrior.
You good, fam?
I am good, and don't call me Sam.
I said fam.
It sounded like you said Sam.
Fam.
I wish I was as badass as Samwise Gamgee. We have Darkness playing the star of our current plot arc, Alistair, the male human paladin.
And salutations, everybody.
And last but certainly not least, we have Tom 117Z playing Neothil, our female Elvon ranger.
Hello.
So, to recap where we last left off in this game, our intrepid band of adventurers set out from the city of Garlat after a amusing encounter with the pet of Alistair's mother, a little spider praying mantis hybrid named Pinchy, and made their way south to the village of Wenlin Crossroads to investigate its recent obliteration and look for any signs of the woman that Alistair had seen in his visions, an individual known as Elizabeth Jada. Their journey took them a little while, and after a brief hiccup where Alistair didn't wake anyone up on time and fell asleep in the middle of his watch, they eventually arrived at the settlement and began to look around and ask questions, whereupon they bumped into Kyra Nightstar, a female dragoon that they had met some time ago back in Lapinia in the village of Dali. Apparently, she is in charge of investigating, or at least aiding in the investigation of what happened to this town. A well-paying job, she's so described. The party eventually decided to split up to try and cover more ground, with Thanatos and Mika remaining behind in Wenlin Crossroad to ask around, while Nee, Alistair, and Rocket ventured forth to try and locate Elizabeth.
Which was obviously not the plan, considering what happened.
That's not what I wanted you to do, but it's what you did, and I adapted. And you paid the price for splitting the party.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, the following incident went pretty poorly for everyone involved. While Thanatos and Mika were making great progress in learning about this creature that had apparently been present during the burning down of Wenlin Crossroad, some vague, towering thing with the sound of jangling chains and great skeletal wings. While they were learning of this creature that had been involved in the attack, everyone else eventually managed to stumble across Elizabeth at the edge of a small forest as she was being attacked by a big, angry moorball. This wound up not going well for those who had to face it, and they wound up retreating, for the very first time running away from a boss that you were actually meant to kill in this game.
Well, things... Now we know that no more splitting up.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't give us a puzzle that we have to split up for in the future, because we won't do it. It's fuck you, DM.
I mean, it's a cardinal rule of D&D, do not split the party.
Sometimes it is necessary to split, and sometimes we don't have any indication that we're going to fight one of the most dreaded monsters
I'm about to say-
Final Fantasy out of the blue.
I mean, you didn't have to throw the moorball at them.
And another session I'm in, we have to split up now and then, and it turns out okay.
You have a much kinder
most
DM.
of the time.
You have a much kinder
You shouldn't
DM than I
split
do.
the party, but you
Yeah,
can't drink.
our only true mistake is we forgot that Skajarma over there is an asshole.
This is true.
Well, anyway, so, following that epic retreat, Alistair, Rocket, and Nee became acquainted with Elizabeth, who is proven to be cold and broken and short-tempered and aloof.
She's
in
very
her-
grouchy.
She, to put it comically and mildly, yes. They discussed matters with her for a little while and managed to convince her to return to the city of Garlat to speak with her teacher, who is also Alistair's teacher, Aranzir, and maybe see if they can patch up any lingering animosity she feels for the man.
There ain't gonna be no patching. At least not the kind you're thinking.
Well,
Don't dictate, mister.
anyway, she eventually agreed, and the party returned to Wenland Crossroad to regroup with the others, and after a brief questionnaire from Thanatos, they then set out back to the north for the city of Garlat, and that is where we shall pick up, as the party is making their way northward. It takes you a little bit of time after setting out from the village, but you're eventually able to catch up to Elizabeth, who's just going at this, power walk the whole way. She sort of glances back at all of you as you're catching up, and she has this very clearly distasteful grimace upon seeing you, but she doesn't say anything and just focuses ahead. Anyone want to say or do anything?
Thanatos leans over to whisper at me, "She's a bundle of sunshine."
You know, out of character, I must say, power walking looks stupid.
It does, but it's efficient.
I know, but it looks stupid.
Yeah, so
It is.
I know where you're
says the
coming
robot
at.
chicken.
It is like basically stomping off in a fuss and all that.
Not really.
Anyway.
It's not really. It's just walking fast.
Anyway, Nee kind
I
of
go and talk to him.
Nee sort of gives him a sidelong glance. I think you'd understand her reasons, Mr. Vengeance.
Yes, and that's really what worries me about this meeting.
Rather deal with this than that mobile, which is going to hunt my dreams again, and to remind me of my failure.
I don't believe I've ever seen a marble. What do they look like?
A giant green thing with teeth.
Or to be more precise, an overgrown reed with fucking teeth.
So,
Many teeth.
It's basically an Audrey 2 without intelligence.
so Grunweed only bigger.
Yes, if it fucked a fucking fly trap and that's what came out.
I'm going to take that image out of my head. Thank you, Alistair.
Well, if we ever do come across it, you have my full permission to burn it to ash.
And if it starts singing, burn it to ash.
if it starts singing,
Yes.
Little
I got
shock
that.
of horrors.
I got that reference.
I didn't.
Feed me, Seymour. Feed
I'm
me.
going to just say that I'm okay with not knowing. All right.
What can I say except delete this?
All right. So,
So is she just gonna keep on powering through the night, or is she gonna actually?
well, as you're going and as it's starting to get later and later into the day, we'll say you were leaving the town and we'll say mid to late afternoon, so you can get about 0.3 notches up before sun sets. As you're moving along and following her along, she's starting to look, visibly tired. Her pace is starting to slow. Her posture is starting to sag a little more with every step she takes. Well, she looks like she's trying to push on, but you can tell that it's taking a toll.
Hey. Nee's going to look up beside her. You can take a rest if you need it, You're only human.
Go ahead and roll me a negotiation check on that.
Not much for me saying anything.
I feel a distinct "fuck you" is coming. Well, depending on what you roll. Oh, actually, that's not bad.
12? She glances at you out of the corner of her eye for a moment, looks like she's kind of internally debating something. And then finally gives off a heavy sigh, just, fine. And starts slowing her pace.
There's a decent enough spot in the woods over there.
I mean, you're in open grassland right now. So.
Oh, are we? I thought we were still moving through the...
Nope.
Also, for some reason, for me, the world map is just a blur.
It's probably still loading. Here, I'll just do a quick thing.
I mean, I could see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna F5 this shit. Maybe I'll fix it.
I can see it perfectly fine. I think it might be some technical issues.
Yeah, probably.
Technical issues ahoy!
Yeah, it's just for me. It's well, I'll show you what it is. It's there.
Curse you, universe!
No, it did just load in the moment I took that screenshot. I mean, the moment after I took that screenshot. So,
So it's
I think
starting
right.
to load.
All right.
Either way, we are in open grassland. Shall we camp?
Indeed. Also, just as a fun little note, if any of you look back towards the pseudo forest on the map, I added a thing to it.
The pseudo forest. What? Where?
Back where Devia Corp shit happened.
Oh.
Other side of the continent.
Other
I
side of
see
the
it.
continent.
There's
Oh
a hole.
boy, I see that.
There's the hole.
I added a crater.
there.
Murasan blew you all up.
Mm.
Yay, a reminder where we all got blown
Where did
away.
all this amber come from? Came from the hole.
Where's
Yeah,
Devious
the
Corp?
hole.
Is in the hole.
Where's Devia Corp? It's in the hole. Oh, fuck. We got an in the hole joke in this game now. God damn it. Shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
God. Well, he didn't do anything.
I was
Tom
gonna say
started
it. And then Tom said it, and everyone's saying it. It was
It's
going to
Tom's
happen.
fault.
Fuck my life.
He just gave us the opportunity.
Just like the fish all over again.
God damn it. So,
Oh, please don't make me hungry. I want to
so
eat.
camping. It's a thing.
Yep. Yeah, you're able to find you find a spot easy enough, and you scrape together some supplies. You may be out in open grassland, but there's still plenty enough to set up a good campfire with firewood and just little stones to keep it all encased. And before long, you've got yourself a nice little campsite set up. What is your watch order going to be?
Same as always.
All right, and refresh my memory on that, because I can never fucking remember.
Me, Thanatos, Mika,
Mika,
Alistair, Rocket, Alistair.
Rocket Alistair.
Because
One of those
Alistair
two.
goes,
I think we've swapped those two many times, but
I don't know. Either way, Alistair, don't fall asleep this time.
oh yeah, it is Alistair last because
Ha.
he didn't wake us up. So remember that from now on.
All right.
Yes.
All right, so Alistair last.
Yes. So, go, ne.
All right, go ahead and roll awareness.
Critical success!
Oh, damn. All right. Okay. I mean, all right, so as you're looking around, just kind of keeping your eyes out on things, it's a quiet night. Rocket, hold on.
Oh, she's getting ahead of herself. Oh, we can just say that's her awareness.
She's being aware in her dreams.
Yeah, we'll come back to you in a little bit here. You're looking around, it's very pleasant, very peaceful. Take a moment to sort of look out over your companions, and just about everyone appears to be sleeping more or less soundly.
Even Elizabeth.
Well, with your critical success, your eyes eventually fall on Elizabeth, and at first it looks like she's sleeping soundly, but then you look a little closer and you can tell that she's just faking it. She's not actually asleep right now.
You know, if you're not actually going to try and sleep, you might as well help keep out Gotta watch out for monsters.
She cracks an eye open to look at you. I am trying. It's easier said than done. If nothing else,
Bad dreams?
to put it mildly.
Well,
So, hey, Nate, do you know someone of the party that could
You're
help her
asleep.
with that?
Shut up.
I
Alistair,
said-
you're asleep.
I said out of character.
Well,
also, I don't believe that we know anyone who can deal with dreams.
I mean, if we
Not
had a
dream
blue
specifically.
mage, but they're in freaking Anoma.
you're all asleep.
I know, voices in my head are going crazy.
It's. Shut up, Alistair.
Okay,
dear.
so, Nee, carry on.
So where were we? Oh yeah, I asked about dreams. She said,
Yep.
"Yeah." Well, I'm afraid there's not much we can do about that. Aside from, unless you want to talk about it, though, I can't imagine you overly keen, let alone the fact that we're still strangers.
She sort of rolls onto her back and looks up. And her eyes then eventually turn and look over at Alistair, still sleeping, and she asks, how did you meet him?
The same way we all met. We were on a boat to the Mithra city of Marasu, which was quarantined at the time, and we got shot with cannons, sank, and we were the only survivors. We washed up on a beach. Got stuck there for a good while, and been lumped with them for ever since. Except for Mika, anyway. She comes from Marasu.
I see.
You have any questions about him? I see you staring.
A few, but he can answer them himself. Go on with your watch. I'll lend my ears, but not much else. And she closes her eyes. All right. Second
Great.
watch.
Yeah. Shit. I need my awareness. 4.
Ten.
Huh.
It's a pretty uneventful night, all things considered. You're looking around at things, and it's pretty calm, pretty quiet. Occasionally, you're sort of looking around. Occasionally, you think you see something sort of flittering about in the peaks of the mountains to the south, the Beauty's Edge Mountains. Occasionally you think you see something moving around up there, but it's too far away to really be worth a damn. And your night passes without incident. Third watch.
That would be Mika.
All right. Mika. Got some awareness of 4. Ten.
Copycat.
Her night passes without incident. Next watch.
And Rocket already rolled.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Rocket. With your 13 and your +7. Holy crap. Your watch also passes without incident, really. Keep your eyes out, standing guard. It's peaceful, it's quiet. No problems. And final watch.
Fuck my life.
Alice! Again?
I need you
Traumatized
to
by
roll
the
a D.
marble.
I need you to roll 1d6, Alistair.
I mean,
Here we go
it's not
again.
like this wasn't one of the important times you had to not roll shit, because the entire first arc is right bloody there.
Jesus Christ!
What is with you today?
Deja fucking
It's
dude!
exactly the same as last time. What the fuck?
That's me!
I swear, I had nothing to do with this. This is just RNG's at work.
This apparently
Dice
doesn't
is
like
rigged.
Alistair today. Alright. Does he fall asleep on watch again?
Yep.
Well, Alistair, as you're going about watch, you were kind of, stressed out and having the occasional, grim flashback to the Moor Ball, both this most recent encounter and to the time when you were younger after having encountered it again. And as a result, you didn't sleep. You weren't resting all that well until it was time for your watch. And you're trying to keep an eye out, but you can't focus, and you feel a sense of deja vu. And it's like, oh shit. You're thinking you should probably nudge someone and get them to make sure you don't fall asleep. And it's as you're contemplating this that a tiny pebble just kind of bounces off your temple. And
Look around and also try to pinpoint the direction of it.
you look around and your eyes settle on Elizabeth, who has sat up in her bed or in her bedroll and is looking back at you with this kind of raised eyebrow, quizzical look. An attentive one, aren't you?
Forgive me, sorry. I try to pay attention a bit better. You can't sleep either?
Can't remember the last time I had a good night's rest.
I know that feeling, but mine's probably way different than yours.
If by significantly easier on you, then yes, you would probably be right.
I just hope when we do get back, you don't take it out too much on him. He has seen better days.
The same can be
And I
said for
worry
all
for
of
him.
us.
Hmm.
What did he see in you, out of curiosity? Do you know?
I guess he saw potential in me, but he acts strict, but also shows that he cares. But sometimes I feel like I could do better. That now and then I can't be what he wants me to be. Someone who is capable like you.
Like me? She sort of looks down at one of the tattered sleeves of her shirt and is like, I was trapped in a cave and cut into for several years. Couldn't do a damn thing about it. She sort of glances up at you and her eyes narrow slightly. What makes you different?
Well, for one thing that's different, I definitely do not have your healing abilities, which could have been handy. And
No, you misunderstand. Why are you still standing?
I always wondered that myself. Was it through his training, sheer luck, some mystical force that doesn't want me to die yet till it's my time? But the way I see it, I just want to get back up and try to help as many as I can. As long as I'm still breathing, able to move and capable to wield this staff around and cast magic, and even take a hit now and then. As long as at the end of the day I felt like I did the best I can as a wall as a paladin, it just sees me through the day. Even though it doesn't always end well. But I
Even-
get back up.
So you've had failures too, then?
Plenty, yes. And I regret every one of them.
Tell me some.
Okay. I suppose that one of the biggest regrets I've ever had is failing to save him fully from that Morval, and just seeing one now just is a blight on my memory. I froze up. I tried to defend him as best I can, but I just couldn't handle it at the time. I mess up. I froze. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever saw, and it seemed whatever I threw at the beast, it just kept coming. It almost had me until he managed to push me out the way and managed to fought it off, but with a price. It did considerable amounts of damage to him.
I heard he's been crippled. That's the incident that did it?
Yes. I managed to mount enough strength to fight off the beast, but it got away with only a few minor damage. I've always regretted it that day. I never want to kill, but I just felt like allowing that thing to live, it would always haunt me and always try to come back and finish the job. Or pursue me one day.
Moorballs are little more than giant, angry animals. They don't hold grudges. Not for more than a few minutes.
True. But I seem to mount the strength I mounted against it, which I'm surprised I managed to hold it back. I wish it came sooner, but it just came too late. Sure, he's still alive, but his condition just reminds me every time I could have done more. But that wasn't the only failure I suffered. Also, I went up against probably one of the most powerful red mages to ever stumbled upon, who was in league with a terrible abomination, the seed of the plague, which we almost died. I was unable to prevent most of his vicious attacks, but luckily Rocket managed to get us out of there with enough strength that she had left, and defeated him. But then I thought everything was going to be fine. We did have rough times still, but I thought maybe we have a good chance. That is until we've met another powerful sorcerer.
Who?
Which... one who is basically the right hand to the demonic force we are trying to wipe out to this day. I don't know if you've seen anything or heard anything of him. He wears a blue hood.
Murasan!
Moasan. I believe his name was Moasan.
Also, question,
What
out
I-
of character real quick. Darkness, why are you talking so quietly?
I think that's him trying to emote sadness.
That and my bloody mic just moved. God damn it. Fucking hate this stupid mic stand.
All right.
Well,
I just,
sorry.
I was asking
Yeah.
because with you talking so quietly, I could hear all of the little squeaks and squelches inside of your mouth from saliva and shit, and it was very distracting.
Shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, fuck it. I'm holding this from now on.
I don't think that'll
Fuck
be
my-
necessary, but
Solves the problem of it falling over all the time. Anyway. Where was I? Oh, yeah. mean, how could you stop something so powerful that not only defeated us, but blown up an entire frickin' corporation? The whole entire building gone. And then we ended up in a place that's probably my worst nightmare. Amber everywhere.
You've been to the Abyss?
Yes.
And
At that point,
still
I thought I
you
was dead.
stand.
Yep. Because I felt like my purpose is not done yet. I still have more to do. And I will keep doing it until my final breath.
I felt much the same way when the Velkers took me. For those first months, I kept struggling against my chains and fighting back however I could, futile as it was. Because, like you said, I felt that my purpose wasn't done yet, that I still had work to do. But no matter how hard I thrashed, or however many times I managed to break the links they'd managed to stick on me, they always had more and more. And in the end, I was forced to realize that no matter how much I wanted to get out and do more, no matter how much I felt that my purpose wasn't done yet, it wasn't my choice to make. My fate was out of my hands a long time ago. She sort of glances at you again, and you see like the fire reflected in her eyes a little bit. It's a luxury you have that I don't think I ever will.
There is one thing I'm quite curious about, though.
And what is that?
Of course, if you want to tell me.
Just spit it out.
How did you get away from them?
I got lucky. I had some help. A man stumbled on me, helped me get away. Don't really remember much of what happened after that. Next thing I knew, I was waking up in Windland Crossroads, and the village had been burned to the ground. My savior nowhere in sight. I've been trying to survive long enough to pay him back for that kindness.
The question is now, what would you do after you talked to my master and also paid your debt to him, whoever he was?
No idea. It depends on what Aronzir has to say. I can't go back to my old life at this point.
I guess the only thing you can do now is move on forward and see where life will take you.
I suppose so. And she falls quiet. And the rest of your watch passes without incident. And morning comes, the sun rising on the horizon. It's kind of a gloomy day by the time the sun comes up. There's cloud cover, kind of making things dark and gray and gloomy, but you can see, and it's light out now, and everyone you start coming to. And you pack up camp, you get your stuff put away, and you continue on your way for the city of Garlat. You make your way through the grasslands, slowly but surely. About halfway through the trip, the sky gets even darker as more thick clouds roll in and rain starts to fall.
Swell.
Mika, being the ingenuitive sort she is, improvises a modified protect spell over the party to act as sort of like an arcane umbrella. So you wind up getting this blue dome over your heads made up of hexagons interlocking together like a honeycomb structure, catching the raindrops, and each one kind of fizzles on impact before turning into steam and fading away. So you're basically leaving a small mini cloud in your wake as you're going.
Aw, you're too good for us, you know that?
Well, this is quite tiring, so whether you like the rain won't last for too long.
Alistair, mind giving the lady a hand?
Indeed.
All right, and you go and you lend some to that, and Elizabeth, just for want of anything else to do, lends a bit of power as well. And the hexagons get brighter, and even though neither of you knows the protect spell, but you can just lend some MP and it works. Anyways, so with that, eventually, it is getting late by the time the city comes into view. You know, sun dipping down slowly and slowly to the horizon. And you are now arriving back once again in the city of Garlat. So
Thank goodness.
Elizabeth kind of looks around as the party steps through the front gates.
Can't remember the last time I saw all of this. Hasn't really changed all that much, has it?
No, it hasn't, and I've been gone for quite a few years.
So have I. As I recall, I was taken before your training ever even started. This homecoming for me is far more overdue than it is for you.
Yeah.
Well, let's just hope Pinchy hasn't escaped again, or I cannot be responsible for what happens.
Please don't harm Pinchy. I'm begging you. I will never hear the end of it from
What
my
the
mother.
hell is a pinchy?
Don't ask.
Well,
Just don't.
Horrible.
I would.
She
I
shuddered
would,
quite visibly.
I would explain, but it's probably best if you see him, if you're not too squeamish of that kind of thing.
How about we skip that and go straight to what we came here for? Honestly.
Well, I was going to say, but probably after the meeting.
Yes.
But
I'm
as
feeling
much as-
meeting your parents is probably on the low end of her priority list. Am I wrong?
But anyways, it's going to say. But
Oh, it has to do with your
before-
parents? Then I'll gladly pass. I have no interest.
Fair enough. Let's press on then.
And you start making your way through the streets. At this late hour, there aren't very many people out and about, so it's, pretty on the quiet side. You occasionally pass the occasional guard patrol, and, they nod at your group. Occasionally, eyes settle on Elizabeth in concerned confusion as they take in her broken and tattered appearance, but she keeps her eyes focused forward the whole time and barely pays any of them any mind.
Elizabeth, do you have any family here?
I did, once upon a time. I don't know if they still live here, though. Or if they're
Well-
even still alive.
After we're done here, maybe you should check up on them. I'm sure they'd like to know you're still around.
Perhaps.
You come out
Trust
onto
me.
the big main thoroughfare where Aaronzier's home is located. You make your way down a little further before the home itself comes into view. I'll keep moving for a little bit, but Elizabeth stops in the middle of the street a ways away.
Is there something wrong?
Nothing. Just memories.
Well, we escorted you here, but you can go in on your own if you wish.
I prefer that.
Besides, we probably got some things to do ourselves.
We do.
Yes, Thanatos, we do. So let's go and leave them to get reacquainted.
Elizabeth starts heading for the door.
Out of character, what do we actually do here? Because I feel like the conversation between them is going to be plot relevant.
I have a suggestion, but once she goes in and she's out of earshot, then we'll talk.
And she...
It's best to give him some privacy. And of course, out of character, we'd probably be like a small distance away, just in case anything does happen.
Just let him go through.
So Elizabeth comes up to the door and knocks on it a few times. And a few seconds later, it opens up, and you can't quite see who it is from here as you're a ways back, but Elizabeth talks to them for a second and then steps inside, and the door shuts behind her with a click.
Alright. We're not going anywhere.
Let's stick outside the house and... just in case things don't progress well. Tempest's going to get flared.
I say, coming from a guy who knows revenge, I don't think it's a very good idea to leave. Because she may not be as stable as we think she is.
So do we want to send somebody to eavesdrop or something?
It's Mika speaking.
Well, if only we had a really sneaky elf who was good at not being seen.
I mean, occasion.
I mean, there was that whole boat ordeal.
Alright, where's the window connecting to the guy's study, or wherever we met before?
It'll be like on the right-hand side of the building. Like, you have to like walk around a corner a little bit. It would be on this side of things over here.
Stealth me.
Alright, so if I could go in and kind of... Like, is the window shut or open currently?
It seems to be shut at the moment.
Well, I'm going to approach it along the wall so I'm not visible from the window.
Roll a stealth check.
Come on, me. Come on, me.
7 or 8 currently. My stealth is currently 8.
8.
13?
Even with a crappy roll, it's still pretty good.
Yeah. Because I'm putting most of my points into stealth.
Give me just...
Because that's kind of my shtick.
Is that enough?
13. Yeah, you're being pretty quiet, pretty stealthy. So you're slinking around to try and get close to the window. Is that the idea?
Yep.
All right.
Where Aaron's, should be.
Yep. Give me just a second. I'm doing some stuff.
I feel like this whole thing is plot relevant. We shouldn't just go dum-de-dum-de-dum, wander off down the shops.
No, we're not going to wander off down the shops. We're going to find the master dead.
Just oh shit! There's another crater on the map now.
I don't see that happening in the foreseeable future.
Lies.
Eh.
So what does the knee see through the window?
Well, give me a second. I'm still doing important shit I need to do.
Important shit you need to do.
Alright, so you sort of sneak your way around and you poke your head up and look into the room, and Lucky you, one of the curtains are pulled back to, they haven't been closed yet. You can see there's some firelight coming from the fireplace. And you see the door on the far side swing open, and Elizabeth strolls in. And she looks off to the side, and you can tell that her eyes have found they've found Aaron's as she sort of locks up and just stands there for a second. You see Aaron's wandering into view. And they start talking, and I need you to roll an awareness check to make out what they're saying.
Awareness.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
14?
Yep.
All right. So, Aaron's initiates the conversation.
Elizabeth, you're alive. You're really alive. When have I ever been that easy to kill? You know as well as I do how fast my wounds heal.
That I do. Elizabeth, I am so...
Save your apologies. I know that you're sorry. What I want to know is what good does your apology do me?
Aaron's kind of shuffles a bit on his feet. I know I can't make...
I thought he was in a wheelchair.
No, he walks around on a cane.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry.
I know I can never undo what happened to you. If I could, I would, in a heartbeat. Of that you have my assurances.
He seems to be struggling for words for a bit.
And when you weren't there?
What?
At the village, when the Velkers attacked. You didn't come to my aid like you said you would. What happened to you?
By the time I realized what was happening, by the time I realized that you were being carted off, it was too late. Everything happened so fast. There was so much chaos, and you ran off so quickly to try and help. I didn't...
So that's what it amounts to? Simple spatial ignorance?
He takes a few steps back. I'm sorry.
I already said I don't want your apologies.
She takes a few steps forward, glaring at him.
From the day you took me in and started training me, you were raising me up to be like a hero almost. You filled my head with dreams and aspirations. And then when it finally came time for me to put all you had taught me to use, it amounted to nothing. Nothing! So either you were a blind fool, or you set me up for what happened.
Aaron's looks up at her for a moment. If it will ease your pain in any way to consider me a blind fool, then I will happily accept that. I did fail you. I am not denying that. She glares off to one side for a second.
That you did. And what of him?
What?
Don't play dumb with me. You know who I'm talking about. Alistair. The little bumbling dullard who's waiting outside. Was he some attempt to replace me?
No. No, of course not. I can't replace you, any of my students. He was just...
Just what? The next in line? Your next attempt? Nothing? No words?
She stomps forward and shoves him back a few paces.
I can't believe I ever looked up to you.
A tense silence falls over the room. A few seconds pass. Elizabeth then looks off to one side, as if listening to something, but you can't make out what it is, if anything. Then after a few moments, she glares at Aaron's ear again.
Well then, I guess that's that.
I suppose it is. Is there anything at all I can do to make it up to you for what I allowed to happen? Anything at all? I'd do it gladly. Elizabeth stares at him for a second. Then she lifts up a hand, and it starts glowing with light.
There is. You can feel it like I did.
And at this point, I'm going to fire a disabling shot through the window.
Okay. I was about to say, that's exactly why we didn't leave.